milkshake, the simplest feeling beyond gold. We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, I reach through mysterious ceilings, my only hope. I look for the things I don't know. All in this, I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honestly don't. I should be the last to know. All in this, I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honestly don't. I should be the last to know. Hello, Mona. I mistook you for a dream. The engine broke. I guess you always seem to know. Hello, Mona. I push back the serious feeling. The end's unknown. To get back the life I used to know.
손님 주문. 하나만. 네, 이거 따뜻하게.
아이스 라떼는 저어진 상태에서 바로 드셔도 되시고 핸들코드는 좀 미스베리 같은 뉘앙스도 있고 굉장히 은은하면서도 차분한 톤으로 이어가기 때문에 차분하게 지키기 좀
다음은 영산이로 주민센터